I think this was a really good conversation. When I speak to people from Europe or people from the United States that are Muslim, they curse me right away because they see the Star of David. You respected me and allowed me to speak, and I feel like I had the same respect for you. Usually it doesn't happen to me.
Okay, you are very nice too. Hola amigo,
How you doing, brother?
¿cómo estás? ¿Todo bien? ¿Qué se cuenta? ¿De qué país sos tú? ¿En qué idioma eres? ¿De dónde
You
sos?
speak English? English?
Sí, yes, but I speak in Spanish.
I don't speak Spanish, unfortunately.
You Israel.
Yeah. I speak. If you want, we can speak Hebrew.
I don't know Hebrew.
I know only English for you if you want.
Famous country Israel is always in the news.
Of course.
Always in the war.
Mm-hmm. What do you believe the news?
You do this.
Do you believe
You do this.
Yeah, of course.
Keep up.
This is the same as Kippah.
Like this.
Like this, yeah. As long as you have a head covering, it's enough to show that you're connected to God.
Oh, I'm Jewish now.
Do you believe the news that you see about Israel?
Believe what?
Do you believe the news that you see about Israel?
Yes.
What do you believe? Do you think Israel is committing a genocide? Why?
Because they are killing people.
But in every war, people die.
But it's a war, this?
Of course.
Army against army?
Yeah. It's an army against it's an army against a terrorist organization. You can say the same thing about America fighting against the Taliban. Was that a war? Because they were fighting against not an army.
No, it's an army. Yes.
The Taliban is
an army. Ukraine, Russia. Army against army.
Wait, but the Taliban is not an army. When the United States fought the Taliban, why was it called a war?
But I think that there is not a war there nowadays.
No.
USA against Taliban? No, not a war today.
Yeah, there was a war. No, there used to be a war, and 500,000.
Now not.
No, now no. But when there was a war, nobody called it a genocide or a massacre. 500,000 to 1 million people.
There were 40,000 dead people there.
Where?
In Taliban's.
No, there were 500,000 to 1 million people dying, dead, in the war.
I think but this doesn't change the situation in Israel against Gaza.
It does, because if Israel doesn't target civilians deliberately, you can't say that this is a genocide. Israel targets Hamas, and along the way, some innocent civilians die. This is the cost of every war. You can't name a single war in history where civilians don't die.
Yes, but is this a war? Because you are bombing people in Gaza, Israel, and all the time, every day, people die. And in the other way,
just like
Israeli people are dying every day for the bombs from Gaza.
So let's take a situation in which Israel doesn't have the Iron Dome. You know the Iron Dome, the rockets that intercept other. Imagine Israel doesn't have that. Okay? Let's imagine imaginary world. Israel doesn't have that. How many civilians would we have dead in Israel to this day from the 7th of October? How many?
But this doesn't happen. This is not real. As you said, you have to imagine that. This is not real. Because the reality is that you have the defense. So you know that you have the defense, and Gaza doesn't have the defense.
But hold on.
And you still bomb.
That's the difference. The government of Israel takes care of their civilians, and they make sure we have shelters, we have Iron Dome to protect us, we have alarms to go off to tell us to go to the shelters. Why doesn't Hamas build shelters for the people in Gaza? Why don't they have any anti-defense? Why don't they invest in that?
Well, I don't know, but this doesn't change. All you're saying doesn't change the reality that Israel kill people every day, bombing people, civilians or not. Some people says that Israel knows that kill civilians. You know that civilians are dying because you are telling that to me. And it is not the same way on the other side.
It's not supposed
because of the Iron
it's
Dome, because of the
it's
shelters,
not
and whatever.
it's not how you choose what's right and what's wrong. In history, it doesn't work that way. When the Brits fought the Nazis and they killed 2 million innocent civilians when they tried to eradicate the Nazis, nobody went to the Brits and said, "Oh, you guys are committing a genocide." No, there's good versus evil. Hamas is evil. Israel tries to go after Hamas, but Hamas hides under civilians. Because they want civilians to die. They want you to be, "Oh yeah, civilians are dying, you're committing a genocide." That was their strategy all along, and you fell for it. Because this strategy works perfectly amazing. When I see innocent babies dead, it
But
hurts my mind. It hurts my heart. I don't like seeing that. But they know that this is what's going to get you emotional. They know it's going to get you to say, "Oh, nobody's dying on the Israeli side, so Israel is committing a genocide." It's not how logic works. It's not.
But Israel knows also that will kill people, civilians, babies, and whatever, and that all the people will see that and still continues.
So
They doesn't stop. They don't stop. They do a lot of. I saw a lot of things I can't remember. For example, now I remember one thing, but there are a lot. You know about this. There were 3 Israeli soldiers in Gaza that I don't know. They were they were shirtless. They were with a white flag.
Hostages. I know
They
about
came,
this.
something like that, and the Israeli army killed them, thinking that there were Palestinian civilians. Okay, this situation showed the people of the world that Israeli soldiers doesn't matter to kill a civilian that comes with a white flag. In this case, were Israelis. So where is all of that they don't kill civilians? There are a lot of in the social media, in Instagram, and a lot of places like that, a lot of Israeli soldiers laughing about killing people, putting women dresses, dancing in a kindergarten, in a civilian houses. The soldiers in a war, as you said, have to kill the enemy, and that's all. But Israeli soldiers go inside civilian houses. They break plates, they dance, they laugh about pictures of civilians, of babies, and they put them in Instagram because they know that some people will say what you are saying now, that all the fault is of Hamas. I don't like Hamas also. I know that there was a terrorist attack in Israel and all of that, and it's terrible, and these people has to be punished. But I think that there must have an end point. And I don't know when it will finish because of Israel, because it's Israel that is attacking.
How would you punish them? Let's say you are the Prime Minister of Israel. They invade you on October. They invade you on October the 7th. They rape your women. They burn people alive. They don't break stuff. They don't mock people. They go on Instagram Live and show their parents how they kill their sons, their kids. They say we're gonna do it again and again. You're the Prime Minister of Israel right now. Your country gets attacked. How would you have responded? What would you have done?
But like all the terrorist attack, you have to catch them and send them to jail.
How? Why?
Yeah.
How could you do this if they ask for these specific terrorists in the next prison exchange deal?
I know that. I know that you have to go to. In fact, at the beginning of this, we all saw the terrorist attack on October also in Israel, and everybody said, "Me too." Well, this is horrible. This is terrible. This is disgusting. It was difficult to see these videos that you are telling. And in the following days, everybody, including myself, celebrated the attack to Gaza. But then days goes by and it never ends. And there are a lot of people. 40,000 people is a lot of people that died.
And how many of them are
because
Hamas?
of this attack. I understand. I'm not saying that Israel is acting without thinking. I know that it's difficult. As you say, what can you do? You have to do something. Okay.
How many of them are Hamas though? From
I
the
think that
40,000 you said.
today,
From the 40,000 you
Today,
said, how many of them are Hamas? From the 40,000 you said, how many of them are Hamas?
whatever they are,
No,
even if they, I don't know.
the number matters. Because if you
I don't
say
know. I don't know
if
how
you
many.
say only
I don't know.
if you say only 1,000 is Hamas and 39,900 is civilians, then I would understand your claim. But because there's 20,000, according to Israel, because there's 20,000 Hamas terrorists that have reportedly been killed by the Israeli army since the 7th of October, and there's a total of 44,000, that's an insane ratio. It's one terrorist, one civilian for every one terrorist. It's an insane ratio. Insane. Unbelievable. Never seen before in urban warfare. So you say Israel wants to kill innocent civilians. Why don't we kill more innocent civilians if that's our intention? Why don't we just drop a nuke and get everybody out?
No, I think I never thought that they want to kill civilians. As you say, the civilians died because in every war civilians die. But I think that Israel has to find a way today to finish this war, as you said, or whatever you wanted to call it. I don't know, politicians or whatever it happens, even for the Israeli people. I don't think that Israeli people, as you, Israeli civilians, wants to continue, because, as you said, Israel also is under attack, and you have to go to the shelters and
people also die. People die.
Very difficult life.
People also die from the north. We get bombed from the north, from Lebanon, from Hezbollah since October 8th. More than 14,000 rockets were fired from Lebanon into Israel since October 8th. And then when Israel retaliates against Lebanon, all of a sudden Israel invades Lebanon. Israel attacks innocent Lebanese. Amazing how the narrative changes. Amazing. But
yes, because they kill people.
But
Israel kill people in Lebanon. Lebanon kill less people.
They killed
people.
They killed 12 Druze kids in the north, and they said, "Oh, we didn't do it. It's not, but it was them. We didn't do it." All of a sudden, listen. I just want you to know something, because you seem like an intelligent guy. This whole war between Lebanon and Israel, and between Gaza and Israel, is all based from their side on emotion. They want you to see people dying. They want you to see children with amputated limbs. They want you to see people getting hurt. They want it. Okay? What do you expect?
But you too.
But no, not
you
me too.
You,
I want.
Israel shows.
Wait.
Israel also do the same.
Hold on.
All the parts do the same. They show the world this. Israel shows that these 12 children died.
Every sovereign country.
Israel showed that.
Every sovereign country deserves to live in peace. Just like I believe that in Uruguay you deserve to live in peace, I believe that in the United States people deserve to live in peace. Same applies to Germany, same applies to any country. The moment your neighboring country attacks you, you have any right to make sure this peace is maintained by eradicating the organization that started this, aka Hezbollah, aka Hamas, aka the Houthis in Yemen, aka the Islamic Republic of Iran. If they compromise the well-being of your civilians, you are allowed to go to war. It's grounds for war. So I don't understand, what do people expect us to do? Just sit quiet, mix put our hands like this and sit and quiet? No, we have hostages in Gaza still. We have a baby in Gaza. You know that since the beginning of the war, the only two terms to end the war was for Hamas to surrender, no innocent had to die, and for the hostages to be released. The only two terms since the beginning of the war. Why don't people around the world say, Hamas, surrender and free the hostages so the people of Gaza can live in peace?
But there were negotiations with Israel and with some people. I don't. Sorry for my English, but there were some kind of agreements. And these agreements included to free the hostages, and Israel said, and also to the army of Israel to get out from the territory of Gaza. And Israel said no.
And something is
missing. No. I don't want. Israel said, I don't want my hostages if I have to get out from Gaza.
That's not what they said.
I wonder myself. It
not
is
what
so
they said.
important, these hostages for
It's
Israel.
not what they said. It's not what they said. You're missing a very, very big key component. Remember how I said in the beginning that Hamas has to surrender? How Hamas has to surrender? So Israel, the term was that Israel leaves Gaza, but Hamas remains in power. Remember how I told you that Hamas needs to surrender for the war to end? I told you this, and you said yes, I know. So this term, you forgot to mention it. This term is extremely important because they said, Hamas on live television, October 7th will happen every year. We will do it today, we will do it next year, we will do it the year after. They release hostages, they tell them, see you next year. Does this seem reasonable to you? It seems reasonable to you? And they also wanted to release 300 convicted terrorists from Israeli prisons for every hostage that they released. 300 prisoners, convicted terrorists that stabbed, ran over people, almost exploded next to people. For one innocent hostage, for a baby. Does it seem logical to you to agree to this?
Yeah, I can ask you, do you think it's logical for you that children died in Gaza or in Lebanon or whatever? I think all the people can say that it is illogical. Yesterday or before, I saw some videos that from Israel that shows Hamas punishing Palestinian civilians.
Yeah.
Okay, and it's horrible. Of course, I know, but I wonder myself. These Palestinian civilians are tortured by Hamas, are tortured by Israel also. So, and nobody cares about these people. I'm speaking about these people. And Israel kills these people. So, what's I don't know.
Israel doesn't kill these people.
I know that these people are punished by Hamas, but Israel also bombs these people, kill these people. So what they can do if everybody is attacking them?
Maybe go against Hamas, go against the government and making your life miserable.
How they will go against Hamas?
There's 50,000.
If they don't have food, they don't have a house because Israel is bombing all the time.
They don't have food.
What can I do? They can do nothing.
They don't have food because Hamas steals the humanitarian aid into their warehouses and sells it for 10 times more expensive to the civilians in Gaza. At some point, Israel set up specific areas. It's called humanitarian zones, where the army is with...
Yes, but these humanitarian places also, yes, of course, it's good, but they were also bombed.
No, wait, but when the army is there, how can we bomb? The army is there to make sure that the civilians of Gaza receive water, receive food. In the news, they don't show you this. They don't show you these things
No, I know that they send food, and as you said, that Hamas catch this food, and also in Israel before the food is entered into Gaza, some people try to don't let this food go into Gaza.
But
Some Israeli
goes in.
civilians.
It still goes in.
They protest and they don't want this food to go into Gaza.
But the trucks still go in.
There were some places, some situations that Israel said to the people, I don't know, from the north, go to the south so you can be protected there. And then they bombed the south. That happened. And
two things.
Okay.
The humanitarian aid trucks that are being blocked by civilians. Still, the government that the people are so against sends humanitarian aid trucks. For the fact that some people are going to be angry at the fact that we are giving food for Hamas, because we know that Hamas takes the food. I understand it. But the trucks at the end of the day end up going inside Gaza. And then who takes the trucks? Hamas. Nobody gives a shit about Hamas. Nobody takes accountability for Hamas. People say, oh, I don't like Hamas. Well, Hamas is making the life of the people in Gaza miserable. Miserable.
Yes.
Because if Hamas...
In Israel too.
Israel doesn't. Because if you say Israel is making their life miserable, how come my friends help civilians go from the north to the south? Why would soldiers help them go from the north to the south? Why would they do it if they make their life miserable? Why would they give them bottles of water? Why would they give them food? Why do I have a video of Palestinian civilians saying Hamas ruined their lives, that the Jews are better than Hamas? Why do I have a video like this that you don't see? People don't see it. People don't talk about it. It's frustrating to me.
But there are also another videos. There are videos from Jewish peoples around the world saying that this is a genocide.
But
There are videos of Israeli people saying that this is a genocide.
this is a girl from Gaza, okay? Hamas took my son. Hamas took my son. The kid saying the Yahuds are better than Hamas. We don't have a problem with the
That's
Yahud.
okay. I don't.
So
I
I'm
don't,
telling you, if you're being
oh,
bombed, if you're being bombed and being tortured by Israel, why do the civilians of Gaza speak like this?
well, but this doesn't change that Israel is killing civilian
But
people
this is in every
Gaza.
war. It's in every war. Israel doesn't try to target civilians. But when I warn you with a knock bomb and I tell you to evacuate and you don't evacuate and I take all humanitarian measures to make sure that civilians,
But sometimes you can't evacuate.
that civilian casualties
Here,
are not
for example,
in harm's.
me here. If you tell me you have to evacuate here in my country, I have a car. I go to that. But some people doesn't have a car, and how do they evacuate?
What do you mean?
Because it's not that easy that you say evacuate, and if you don't evacuate, it's your problem.
Of
because
course,
some people
if
don't,
I give you a warning,
don't-
if I give you a warning that an asteroid comes from space and about to hit your house, are you gonna evacuate or are you gonna stay and die because of the asteroid?
I will evacuate because I have a car.
Terrific.
Yes.
No, what do you
But
mean
if
have
I
a
don't
car?
have a
What do you mean
car,
have a car?
if I
Literally
don't have
walk
a car,
away.
what's I have to start to run.
Walk away. You don't need the car. Just walk away. Walk away. I mean, have you ever asked yourself how they know exactly which building they need to film for social media? Because they get warned. They know exactly which building is gonna fall because they know that we warn them about which building is gonna fall. So they film because because we tell them. So if Israel takes all the measurements needed to minimize civilian casualties, it's not murder. It's not a genocide. It's a war casualty. People die from a collapsing building. It's in every war like this. Every war. And if my soldiers harm innocent civilians without any need or any cause, I condemn it. It's absolutely horrific and it shouldn't happen. If innocent civilians die, if innocent children die because a soldier took a gun and shot them point blank for no reason, I condemn it. It's not allowed. And these people should be in prison. You understand what I'm saying? But in war, the outcome is horrific. Civilians always die in war. In Syria, there was a war, 500,000 people died. Majority kids. Majority kids. Yemen, there's a war right now. They're starving their children. Nobody talks about it. But notice how when the Jews go against Muslims, all of a sudden the world has an issue. All of a sudden everybody reports about the Jews against the Muslims. Why is that?
Yes, but here is different because there are a lot of people dying, a lot of children dying, and not only the people dying, the whole territory of Gaza is the United Nations says that, the different organizations says that there is a big humanitarian problem in Gaza because whatever, the food, and all is like a chaos there. In all the places in Gaza.
You know that the UN is completely biased against Israel because there's 53 Muslim states in the UN. 53 Muslim states. I visited the UN about 2 months ago and I saw 53 seats of Muslim countries. Every time there's a resolution that they want to pass against Israel, all of the 53 states raise their hands, we're against it. We're against what Israel is doing. And then they take all of the non-democratic countries with them, including Russia, including China, including North Korea, including all of the other countries that are not democratic. There's only 33 democratic countries and the rest are not democratic. So all the time, Israel is being put under pressure. Israel was blamed 166 times since 2015. The rest of the world, 66 times. 66 times. Russia, barely blamed.
Tranquilo, amigo.
Yeah. I'm so emotional about this. It really annoys me, brother.
66 times what? Sorry?
66 times the rest of the world was blamed by the UN. The rest, all of the countries in the world were blamed against whatever. But Israel, 166 times. 100 times more than all the other countries combined. Listen, I don't want children to die. I don't want women to die. I don't want innocent civilians to die. But if Hamas doesn't surrender and give us our hostages, I don't want my family to be next in the next 7th of October. I don't want it to happen.
Who are you? You have been in the United Nations now. Why?
Why? Because I do Israel advocacy online on social media.
Israeli advocacy on social media. What
Yeah.
is that?
Israel advocacy. I talk about Israel, Palestine. I do.
Like you do to me now.
No.
Last night in Amsterdam, fans of the Israeli soccer team Maccabi Tel Aviv were attacked after the game. Groups of masked attackers targeted
You are
Jewish Israeli
okay.
tourists.
Okay, nice. This is from Instagram.
Yeah.
Tell me, you were filming me.
Yes.
Okay.
But can I tell you something?
What?
What? No, I want to tell you something. First of all, I think this was a really good conversation because you weren't. When I speak to people from Europe or people from the United States that are Muslim, all the time when I speak to them, they curse me right away because they see the Star of David. They talk about my wife. You are very, very respectful. I have sometimes my wife is with me and they say, "How much is your wife? How much to fuck your wife?" Like this. That's what they say. They're disgusting people. So I want to say that you're very, very respectful. I mean, despite the fact that you said some things that I disagree with, you respected me and allowed me to speak. And I feel like I had the same respect for you. I mean, we didn't get angry at one another. So I just wanted to say thank you because you're very nice. And it usually doesn't happen to me.
Okay, you are very nice too. You know how to speak. You are very famous. Well, my friend, nice to meet you. Maybe I see you again.
I hope so.
Take care.
Thank
I wish you
brother.
the best.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.